the historical background of spoken or written piece of text, which is really effective in understanding the underlying meanings of some language. And as I told it before, discourse is the way that language is used. So when you want to define discourse, you do not somehow look for something concrete. It is an abstract idea, something that should be formed in your mind in order to get the meaning, exactly the meaning of context, because it refers to a whole idea. You are not able to communicate effectively. You are not familiar with such elements like what that look like. Now, discourse analysis. What is discourse analysis and what are its applications? Maybe when you hear the term discourse analysis or later CDA, critical discourse analysis, you may think about political text, news, language of press. But what I want to tell you is that discourse analysis has far more applications. Why? Because it helps us understand how to communicate effectively in different social contexts. So it is not limited to language of news, let's say, or political language or political discourse. So what does discourse analysis do? Discourse analysis deals with the ways sentences and utterances put together to make texts and interactions, and how those texts and interactions fit into different social contexts. So the organization of the text. Suppose you are writing a recommendation letter or you are writing an application letter. How do you apply? When you want to apply for a job, when you want to apply somehow for a university, for MA or PhD studies, you are supposed to follow some organization in your writing. Without following that organization, something will be missing. So you need an organization in your mind. And even when you talk, discourse is that organization. Of course, some part of discourse, okay, is that organization, how you organize what you want to say and what you want to write. So it is the go-togetherness of sentences and ideas. It gives you a clear organization. And more interestingly, the addressee or the audience are expected you to follow that organization. If you are the members of the same discourse community, it means that if they are already familiar with that event, with that piece of speech or piece of somehow writing. So organization, or let's say discursive organization, is part of the definition of discourse. And again, the interactive rules, the regulations, again, parts of discourse analysis. Discourse analysis goes beyond the literal meaning of words and sentences in order to find the underlying meaning that resort to the elements of context. And then, in the next stage, you should think about the social context. To whom are you talking? To whom are you are writing and to whom you are talking? Whether you are talking to a friend, whether you are somehow, again, to a friend, whether he or she is intimate or not. You make use of language differently in different cases. The somehow power relations, the social roles, all of these are related to the elements of somehow social context and guide you. They are like signposts. To whom I'm writing, for which purpose I'm writing. I'm going to persuade others. So if your purpose is persuasive, you make use of language differently, either in the selection of terminology and in the selection of structures. Or let's say, in the opposite direction. You are not going to persuade somebody. Let's somebody ask me as a teacher to write a recommendation letter, okay? Generally speaking, or let's say as a rule, we are going to somehow highlight the strengths or the strong points of the person for whom we are going to recommend for some specific job or some specific position, okay? We make use of positive words and positive structures. But if you are going to write recommendation, but you are not somehow you do not quite agree with the qualifications of that person. Again, through language, you can express it, but in a way that seems neutral. But the person can quickly understand it that you are not quite, somehow, you do not quite agree with the qualifications of the person. Why? Because you make use of language differently. You are writing the recommendation letter anyway for your student, for your friend, for your employee, but in your language choice, I mean, in the selection of terminology and grammar, let's say structure, you manipulate language, you play with language in a way that the addressee quickly understands it that you are not highly recommend that person. Something is wrong here, okay? So it is language, and let's say it is discourse. How to play with language. There are different levels of discourse analysis based on our purpose, for which purpose we undertake discourse analysis. So, based on our purpose, we have different levels for discourse analysis. Sometimes it is very simple and it only happens at the level of, let's say, at the linguistic level. You just analyze the somehow micro-level elements of the text, like terminology, like collocations, let's say grammatical structures, the frequencies, the coherence, okay? So it is so simple and it only happens at the level of the text. So we call it linguistic level, or let's say linguistic orientation towards discourse analysis. And at the beginning stages, discourse analysis had only the linguistic orientation. Discourse analysis at the beginning was mostly linguistic. However, the linguistic orientation is not enough. Because let's say it is form-based. It does not go beyond the somehow formal aspects of language. We need some macro analysis. We need to go to the layers beyond the linguistic layer. So a thorough orientation towards the study of discourse as a complex event requires further analysis in terms of the relations with the cognitive, social, and cultural context. Here, I gave you some key terms in order to guide you what are the other levels of discourse analysis. So the first level of analysis was linguistic. We only somehow concentrated on the micro level of the text, but sometimes we need to take consideration of the cognitive aspects, social aspects, and cultural aspects as well. Now, can you guess what is the cognitive aspect of analysis? Do you have any idea? Of course, the definition is here, and you can make use of it. See, the cognitive aspect of discourse analysis deals with the cognitive representations of discourse in memory and in other information such as knowledge and beliefs necessary during discourse understanding. What does it mean? It means that while we are going to undertake discourse analysis, the cognitive aspects, what is going on in the brain, in your own brain, okay, and in the brains of your audience is important. Their memory span, their knowledge of the topic, let's say, their beliefs, their ideologies, they are all important in interpretation and in understanding. These are necessary elements for somehow, let's say, comprehensive understanding and negotiation. So the cognitive aspect deals with what? Deals with memory, what you remember about the topic. Do you remember about the topic at hand? For example, your friend comes to you and asks you, did you go to the, or let's say, did you watch the film last night? Your friend asks you, did you watch the film last night? Without mentioning the name of the film. So your memory here should help you. As well as the schemata, you should have the knowledge of which film,